ladies, I am here but I'm a bit out of shot today because I'm trying to angle it down to the table to show you one of my craft fair makes. It's not one of our usual crafts that we all share, but you know, it's good to learn new things, and you may well have come across these before, and there's loads of tutorials out there, but I just thought, on the off chance that somebody hasn't, or to jog your memory, I'm going to show you how I make my baby comfort blankets with ribbons attached. Okay, now I'm wording it very carefully because it's kind of an emulation of a design that is very strictly trademarked, so you've got to be careful, haven't you? It's in no way, shape or form do I use the brand name. I don't make huge pots of money out of these. I only sell, like, when people ask for them, I make them. So I'm doing a few for my craft fair just to have on display, really, for if anybody wants one making for a baby shower. Or so if you know anybody that's having a baby, you could whip one of these up. And they're really inexpensive little comfort blankets, and they're lovely because I use really soft. What I use is, because I'm a scrimper, I use these. Now I get these from the pound shop. They are face cloths. So here's some. You get 3 in a pack, and they're different colours. So basically, I just rifle through, and I get a couple of packs, and then you can get pink, white, lemon, and blue. So I usually put 2 coordinating colours together, and then you just basically cut strips of ribbon. I do them at about 5.5 to 6 inches. Any kind of ribbon. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be fancy. But you know, obviously, like this one that I'm doing at the moment is blue, so it's for a boy. So most of the ribbons that I'm using, different textures. Like that's like a cross grain, and that's a satin. And then this one here is like just like cottony. And then I always put in a mixture of ribbons, normally plain, but I always try and have at least one pattern. Even if it means I have to go and buy it, I'll buy half a metre to make sure there's at least one pattern in. Now it's harder to get patterned ones for boys, because for girls, I mean, I've loads. I've got Hello Kitty, I've got this little Chinese type thing, I've got stars and moons, I've got pigs, I've got butterflies, what else? You know, you get loads, don't you, girly ones, and it's really quite difficult to get ones for boys, especially ones with patterns on. It's like, they're quite rare, so when I do find them, oh, I'm getting messaged again, then I'll just pick them up. I'll just turn that off. So yeah, so about 5.5, 6 inches, and I normally put about between 4 and 5 ribbons on each edge. So you put your 2 pieces together, you put them together wrong side out, right side in. And basically you just get your ribbons like this, fold it in like that, and then you tuck that way around inside your little sandwich. So you tuck it in like that. Okay, leave some sticking out, plenty sticking out as well. You'll have enough round the other side for the baby to play with. Doesn't need to be massive. And then pin it all the way around. Okay, and then so you just do that. I mean, you can be really finicky and measure it and have like 2-inch spaces between each ribbon if you want, or whatever. It's up to you. And try and like alternate the ribbon. I'd try and alternate I don't have a pattern, I just try and alternate it. You know, I won't put 2 ribbons the same next to each other, but I don't have it in a strict pattern like that. So you just do that, and then you'd sew it. Now if you do try this method with these face cloths that I've used from the pound shop, don't cut them. do not cut this fleecy material because it all fluffs up and it goes in a mess. That's just a mistake I've made. Also, be very, very careful when you're sewing because this is quite hard to unpick your stitches from. It will rip because it's fleecy. You can get other materials, obviously, from your local shop. You can get the like polar fleece material. That makes really nice ones. You can see my double chin. I'm not happy. Can you breathe in with your chin? Like that. Get some sellotape. Right. You know, I've made these with cotton. Just nice soft cotton. Just with a print on. Don't matter what you make it out of. So then you just sew. Now what I do is, obviously, if you're a sewer, you know that you need to backstitch to hold your stitch in, right? So you do that. I reduce my stitch size to make the stitches really small and tight. And when I go over a ribbon, I go over it, then I backstitch, then I go over, and then I back, you know, and I do it like 2 or 3 times to make sure that that is nice and tight because you don't want that coming out. You don't want a baby pulling that out. That would be not very good, would it? You'd be in newspaper and getting sued and everything. But people know they're handmade, so they shouldn't be leaving babies unattended with handmade items. You shouldn't be leaving a baby unattended with anything, really. Don't matter what it is, because everything's a risk, isn't it? But yeah, I just like triple stitch over the ribbons. You don't need to triple stitch over the rest of it, because machine sewing is sturdy. I would not hand sew these. I wouldn't. Because I'd be too worried about it coming undone. You do need a sewing machine to do these. So if you haven't got a sewing machine, I'm sorry. They're not really for you. So yeah, and the other thing is, don't get carried away when you're sewing round and then you sew around. And don't get carried away and sew it shut, which I have also done before, because then you can't turn it the right way around. So you must leave yourself an opening. I put extra pins in to remind myself not to sew that bit, because I've done it about 3 times and then the stitching's really hard to unpick and it wastes the blanket. And the other thing that you need to be careful of as well is, because if you're having a ribbon there like that and then you pin them round and you're having another ribbon there, when you come to sewing this side, because rather than trying to sew around corners, I just do a straight edge, back stitch, finish it off, turn it round and sew again. I don't go around corners, I just finish it off and start a new line. So when you're starting a new side, if you've got ribbons here and you're putting one here, just be careful that you don't sew that ribbon, that you've got there when you're sewing this side together. So just tuck it out of the way. So just bear these things in mind, because these are things, learn from my mistakes, these are things that I've done. And then you think, oh my God, look what I've done. And it's wrecked, because you can't really rectify it, because you're back stitching and triple stitching for safety, so it's impossible to unpick it all. So yeah, so make sure that when you're doing the opposite corners, that the one you've already sewn, you know, open your material and just tuck it out of the way, even if you to pin it while you sew that side. Then when you turn it all the right way around, you end up with, I ain't even got one to show you, what a retard. There they are. This is what you end up with when you turn it the right way around. So this is a girly one. That's got Winnie the Pooh on it and the piggies and some pink. I like doing the pink ones better, because I just like pink. We don't have a lot of boys in my family. We've just got JJ, my little grandson. He's 3 and he's just about the only boy. Yeah, in fact, I've got my husband has got a nephew who's like 15. But obviously I've only been married to him for 10 years, so I didn't know him before. So Junior is the only boy. So I'm not very good at boy things. So this is like a boy one, or, well, yeah, it is, because it's blues. So I've got the little buttons, and then I found that one with ducks. And that's about as boy as I could find. So I just used creams and blues. And so, yeah, that's what they look like when you've done. And they're just lovely and soft. Really, really nice. Very inexpensive. I mean, you know, I do pick these ribbons up, these bundles of ribbons, as I keep plugging on, going round and banging on about my bargain basket in Samuel Taylor's where we get them for 50p a bundle and then I stash them up. You know, I mean, all of that there. I'm going to make some hair bubbles, not hair bubbles, hair bows, because I do hair bows as well. You know, like boutique bows. I do those as well. In fact, I might do a video on those. So, I mean, look how much ribbon I've got there. Hello Kitty, and it's cost me 50p. Same with that one. You know, so I do stash them up. But even if you were to go out and buy the ribbons, you can buy 1/2 metre of ribbon. You know, and just use 2 or 3 different ones. So you don't have to buy 1.5 metre of ribbon, if that. I'm not even sure how much ribbon I use. I just use what I use. I should write it down really and be a bit more technical, shouldn't I? But that's what you end up with. And they're really lovely. As I say, if you know somebody that's having a baby or if you make baby shower, like a lot of people do these nappy cakes and stuff now, don't they? They've got really popular. So I think they're alright. So I'll just start to share that comfort blanket with you and my double chin. So there you go. 2 for the price of 1 you've got today. Right, I'm going now. I'm going to go and do some neck exercises. Thanks for watching. See you later.